This attack, called the Al-Aqsa Storm Operation, it occurred on October 17, 2023. People all over the world were shocked by this unexpected attack done by Hamas to the people who were watching music concert at the time. But the attack didn't stop there. They launched hundreds of rockets, to one target, Israel. Actually, this conflict emerged from a long-running conflict between Israel and Palestine. So what did actually happen? And who is Hamas? To understand about this, we need to trace back to decades ago.
Political and militant organization controls the Gaza Strip. Hamas stands for Harakat al-Muqawamah al-Islamiyah, which means Islamic Resistance Movement. In Arabic, Hamas means zeal. This movement believes that armed resistance is the best way to combat Israel. When discussing Hamas, we need to mention Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, a Palestinian refugee who established the organization alongside Abdul Aziz al-Rantisi. When he was 12 years old, he was involved in a sport accident that left him paralyzed, and he relied on a wheelchair for the rest of his life. However, this did not prevent him from becoming a respected religious leader in Gaza.
So Yassin left Gaza to Egypt in 1959, where he spent a year studying at Ain Shams University. But unfortunately, due to the lack of fundings, he decided to stop his academic career and return to Gaza. At the moment when he was in Egypt, he was influenced by a movement called Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, a movement that inspired Yassin to establish Hamas. But actually, what incident motivated Yassin to establish Hamas? That event called Intifada.
In Arabic, the word intifada means resistance. This term refers to the moment when Palestinians began their resistance against Israel. There are two significant intifada events. The first occurred in December 1987, and the second took place in September 2000. However, the first intifada was the turning point for the Hamas establishment. The first intifada began after a traffic accident in which an Israeli truck collided with a vehicle carrying Palestinian workers at Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp, resulting in the death of 4 people. This incident sparked a series of spontaneous Palestinian demonstrations, including small-scale riots and mass boycotts, which was the moment when Hamas was formed.
Hamas provides social welfare programs for the Palestinians. That is why they receive food and support from the Palestine people. They also took part in the second legislative election of the Palestinian Authority in 2006. And they also changed their name. They didn't use Hamas, instead they changed it into Change and Reform Party to compete in that election. Hamas competed with other political parties, including Fatah, the secular and nationalist party, who dominated the legislative council at that time.
Fatah is a reverse abbreviation for Harakat al-Tahrir al-Filistiniya, which means Palestinian National Liberation Movement. In Arabic, Fatah means to conquer. Today, this party is led by Mahmoud Abbas, who is also the president of the Palestinian Authority, the governing body of Palestine created through the Oslo Accords agreement between Israel and the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO. The PLO is a coalition of parties, including the Fatah party, aiming to liberate Palestine. Hamas and Fatah have their differing ideologies and attitude toward Israel. Fatah acknowledges Israel as a country and seeks negotiation with Israel to bring peace to Palestine. Hamas won the election. However, Fatah refused to recognize the result, which led to a civil war. The civil war resulted in the deaths of hundreds of Palestinians and ended with Hamas pushing the Palestinian Authority, including the Fatah party, out of the Gaza Strip.
Since that moment, Palestine has two authorities. Gaza is under the authority of Hamas, while West Bank is under the authority of Fatah. Even though that they have a different principle, they're heading into the same goal, to provide the freedom for Palestine.
Palestine has experienced violations from Israel for decades. Hamas and Fatah have their own way to stop it and fight for their freedom. But as long as the core problem remains unresolved, acts of violence will persist and more lives will be lost. Urgent action by the international community is needed to achieve peace for Palestine. Akasha Viandri, Dian Merdekawati for See Today.